Most people believe success comes from talent, luck, or connections. They believe some people are simply born different, smarter, destined to win. But what if I told you that one single habit, practiced quietly every day, separates the top 1% from the remaining 99%? Not money, not intelligence. A habit so simple that most people ignore it. And that's exactly why it works. This is the story of Jack Millera, completely ordinary man who discovered that habit and changed his life forever. Jack lived a life that looked perfectly normal from the outside. A small apartment in a quiet neighborhood. A regular job that paid just enough to survive. Bills paid on time, but never comfortably. Nothing was technically wrong with his life. Yet every night, he went to sleep with the same heavy feeling in his chest. This can't be all there is. He often told himself that he had potential. That one day, something would click. That motivation would arrive, and everything would finally change. Every night, Jack made promises to himself. Tomorrow, he would wake up earlier. Tomorrow, he would focus. Tomorrow, he would stop wasting time scrolling, procrastinating, delaying. And every morning, tomorrow never came. He watched people around him move forward, colleagues getting promoted, friends starting businesses, strangers online living lives he couldn't imagine. And quietly, painfully, he wondered, what do they have that I don't? At first, he blamed motivation. Then he blamed circumstances. Then time. Then luck. But deep inside, Jack knew the truth was more uncomfortable than any excuse. Something wasn't missing from the world. Something was missing from him. One evening, after another long day filled with distractions and unfinished tasks, Jack came home, exhausted. He didn't turn on the TV. He didn't pick up his phone. He just sat there, in silence. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to sit with his thoughts. And that's when a question surfaced, quiet, but sharp enough to cut through every excuse he had ever made. What if the problem isn't lack of motivation, but lack of control? That question didn't motivate him. It didn't excite him, but it stayed with him. Days later, while cleaning out an old shelf, Jack found a worn book he didn't remember buying. Inside, it was a simple sentence that stopped him cold. Successful people don't do extraordinary things. They do ordinary things, consistently, especially when they don't feel like it. Jack read that line again and again. For the first time, success didn't feel mysterious. It felt uncomfortable. The habit wasn't glamorous. It wasn't inspiring. It was brutally simple. Do the most important thing first every single day without negotiation. No waiting to feel ready. No emotional debate. No excuses disguised as logic. Just action. The next morning, Jack woke up earlier than usual. His body resisted immediately. His mind flooded him with reasons to stop. You're tired. You can start tomorrow. One more day won't matter. But something was different. For the first time, Jack didn't argue with those thoughts. He didn't try to motivate himself. He didn't seek inspiration. He simply acted. He chose one meaningful task, the kind he always avoided, and worked on it before anything else touched his attention. No phone. No distractions. It felt uncomfortable. It felt boring. It felt slow. But it also felt powerful in a way he had never experienced before. Nothing dramatic happened that day. No breakthrough. No sudden success. But something invisible shifted inside him. Days pass. Days pass. Then weeks. Jack kept showing up. Some mornings he wanted to quit. Some mornings he failed. But instead of giving up, he learned something critical. Consistency beats perfection. He returned to the habit again and again. No guilt. No drama. Just discipline. While others waited to feel motivated, Jack worked quietly. While others chased shortcuts, Jack accepted boredom. That habit delayed gratification started creating an invisible advantage. Months later, people noticed something had changed. They couldn't explain it. "You're so focused lately. You seem different." They didn't see the early mornings. They didn't see the silent repetitions. They only saw the results. Jack realized something profound. The habit didn't just improve his work, it reshaped his identity. He stopped seeing himself as someone who tries. He became someone who acts. 1 year later, Jack stood in the same city, living in the same world, but he was no longer part of the 99%. Not because he was smarter, not because he was luckier, but because he mastered one quiet habit. The habit that separates the top 1% from the rest isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. It's the discipline to do what matters, especially when no one is watching. If you master that habit, your life won't change loudly. It will change quietly. And para